Let me live stream and then start recording.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, it is streamed live on YouTube and being recorded.
Oh, Krishna. Because my computer is not switching on. Okay, anyway, anybody can share that screen, Nectar of Devotion, or I'll do it. Just hold on.
Nectar of Devotion. Can you see the screen?
Yeah. But if it is difficult for you, I can share the screen. I don't know.
If your computers come back, you can share.
No, it's not switching on. I don't know what is the reason. Power is not coming.
Okay, no problem. I'll share.
Okay. Chapter 1, Characteristics of Pure Devotional Service. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataha Goswami Iti Namine Namo Acharya Pada Nitaya Kripa Pradayine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyukro Sri Jiva Gopala Kaunana Sas. Okay, repeat after me. Nana Sastra Vicharanaika Nipunau.
Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunau.
Saddharma Samstapakau.
Saddharma Samstapakau.
Lokanam Hitakarinau.
Lokanam Hitakarinau.
Tribhuvane.
Tribhuvane
Tribhuvane
Manyau Charanyakarau
Manyau
Manyau
Charanyakarau
Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau
Vande
Rupa
Rupa
Sanatana
Sanatana
Raghuyugau
Raghuyugau
Sri Jiva Gopalakau.
Sri
Sri
Jiva
Jiva
Gopalakau.
Gopalakau.
Okay, so we are offering our obeisances to Sri Six Goswamis, Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, and empower us to understand this beautiful topic of pure devotional service. So, chapter 1, characteristics of pure devotional service, is what we are going to see. And here the 6 characteristics are there for the pure devotional service. So, what are the characters? Already we saw that in introduction, the pure devotional service definition is given by 2 verses. And one verse is Anyabhilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmadhyanavritam Anukuliyena Krishnanusilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Next is you have to leave all the bodily designations, any designation. You have identified yourself with any identification, bodily, either according to Varnashrama, or I am a male, female, young, old, I am fair, I am dark, I am Indian, I am American, I am dog, cat, any designation. Sarvo Upadir Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam. So that stage is called Nirmala, pure stage, Nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So engaging the senses in the service of the Lord is called Bhakti. So this is another definition. So apart from this, there are 9 characteristics. So here Kapila Dev, already I think we read 1 or 2 paragraphs in this. So Kapila Dev is telling, my dear mother, those who are my pure devotees and who have no desire for material benefit or philosophical speculation have their mind so much engaged in my service that they are never interested in asking me for anything except to be engaged in that service. They do not even beg to live in my abode with me. Like that. And we also saw 6 kinds of liberation, that the devotees are not interested in all the 6 kinds of liberation. What are all the 6 kinds of liberation we saw? And if you remember,
5 kind of.
5 kinds of liberation. Any of you can say any one kind of liberation? Don't tell everything, just give others a chance. Any one liberation name, if you know in Sanskrit, you tell. Otherwise, you say that.
Salukya. It's like residing on the same planet to that of the Lord.
Very good. Salokya Mukti. So devotees don't desire. Okay. Pure devotees. Pure devotees. Okay. Next. Anybody else? You people, some of you are doing Bhakti Shastri. Sayujya.
Sayujya Mukti. That is when one becomes like tries to become one with the Brahma Jyoti.
Very good. Tries to merge with the Brahma Jyoti. Sayujya. Salokya. 2 we saw. Okay, same people. If nobody is telling, you can tell some more also.
Sarupya.
Sarupya.
It's
Very good.
having the same form as that of the Lord.
Wow, very good. Sarubhya. So having, continue.
Samipya, where one can become some like a take part in his pastimes with the Lord and become his associate.
Not pastime of the Lord, but yeah, pastime of the Lord. But Samibhya means being near to the Lord. Whether participating in the pastime or not, sometimes they are only witness. In Samibhya, they want to be near the Lord, but they may not participate. They may only witness. Like in Vaikuntha, there are many associates. They'll just witness. They won't even participate in the pastime. Very good. So 4 kinds you have told. One more.
Sarste,
Very
having the
good.
same opulence as that of the Lord.
Very good. Desiring to have the same opulence as the Lord. So 5 kinds of liberation. But here Kapila Muni is telling they are not interested in material, any material things, and they are not interested in one thing, mental speculation. They are not interested in fruitive activities, karma. They are not interested in knowledge. Knowing more knowledge. No, they are not interested. So these 3 are not there. Jnana and Jnana, Vairagya, these are all servants of Bhakti. They are not superior to Bhakti, they are inferior to Bhakti. So then you have karma yoga, or fruitive activities, thinking Krishna consciousness as a religious activity, very pious activity, doing good things, trying to develop good qualities, personally trying to develop good qualities. These are all comes under Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, karma. It comes under karma. Trying to yield some fruit. I am a Krishna conscious devotee, so I will develop this quality. I will develop a quality of karuna. I will develop a quality of this. I will develop. All this comes under karma. So Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. So not there. And mental speculation also should not be there. Kapila Dev is telling. Mental speculation, yogic ideas of yogic process, Ashtanga Siddhi, all these things should not be there. So, and what to speak of these kind of things, even to be in personal association with the Lord, in the bhakti, that even in bhakti, there's a spiritual fruit you can desire. Spiritual fruit is being near the Lord. Always I want to make chamar and I will be near the Lord. I will not move away from the Lord, no, if I'm doing some service next to the Lord. Not like that. If required, if Lord desires, Radharani is staying in Varshana and Krishna is staying in Nanda Bhavan, Nanda Maharaj, far away. So there is no Samiba there. And Radharani is not totally having a different form than Krishna. She's not having the same form. Many gopis are varieties. Nobody is having the same form, like each other. Not like we are creating a uniform, devotees with uniform. They will wear a same uniform. Like in school or college, everybody wears white and the same height and weight, and they'll all eat the same prasadam and they'll walk like a march past. No, variety. Akila Rasa Mritamurti. Akila Rasa Mritamurti. That is the first word Rupa Goswami is uttering. That the characteristics of Krishna is the Akila Rasa. Every jiva is unique, and he would like to enjoy that jiva individually, the loving relationship in any one of the rasa. So Akila Rasa. Rasamrita Murti. So there is varieties. There is no uniformity. In spiritual world is full of varieties. That is why if one devotee is not like another devotee, we should appreciate it, that it is a real nice environment. Rather, if there is a uniform devotee means, and you have a bracket, you have a stereotype, and you behave only in that way. No, not like that. Everybody's situation is different. Every spirit soul can individually give pleasure to the Supreme Lord under the guidance of one of a spiritual master. So this has to be understood. Now we'll see the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. So I will tell them in Sanskrit. The first one is pure devotional service bring immediate relief from all kinds of distress. We already saw it is called Kleshagni. So like a sprouting of the seed, when Guru gives the bhakti seed, the seed grows and sprouts and it gives 2. One is Kleshagni and Subhata. 2 leaves will come when it sprouts. Together they appear. The first 2 appear together. Why? Rajeshwara Prabhu, what happened? Okay, Kleshagni, Subhada. Second is Subhada. Second is Subhada. That is auspicious, all auspicious. Krishna consciousness, pure devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Then onwards, everything is auspicious. Third is pure devotional service automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. So you should understand everything is spiritual. Sometimes we will see that Prabhupada, he started executing his guru's instruction and his business was stolen, his family broke, his wife sold the Bhagavad Gita for buying tea. So many things. Oh, why? That is inauspicious. No. Prabhupada's life also so many inauspiciousness happened. No, even Guru Maharaj we are seeing undergoing liver transplantation. So materially, what you think auspicious, inauspicious, different. 100% one coming under the control of the Supreme Lord. We generally pray, my dear Lord, make me an instrument to fulfill your desire. So when Lord is making us an instrument to fulfill his desire, we are not able to understand it and we are so materialistically engrossed and calculate everything in a materialistic way. Whereas this body, we are not this body. That's the basic thing. And Krishna's desire is supreme. Krishna's will is supreme. So that when a pure devotee's life, everything is in the hand of the Supreme Lord. And there is a purpose for why he is doing so. So is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Third is pure devotional service. So first is Kleshagni, second is Subhada. Third one is pure devotional service. Automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. That is called Sandrananda Visheshatma. Very, very happiness. Transcendental pleasure he will derive by dancing in front of the Ratha and doing any devotional service will bring joy. And naturally a transcendental pleasure is derived. You cannot avoid it. Somebody who is very dry in heart will say that while I am performing Krishna consciousness, I am deriving happiness. No, don't you think that enjoyment is wrong? I'm enjoying. I'm not giving enjoyment to Krishna. Why you are saying you're not giving enjoyment to Krishna? When you are deriving pleasure in transcendental activities, that is the proof that Krishna has derived pleasure. So it is very natural for the living entity to get this pleasure. Then, because I have seen in some of the lectures, some devotees ask questions. When executing Krishna consciousness, I'm getting happiness. Don't you think that enjoyment is wrong? Generally, trying to enjoy in this material world is wrong, right? So don't you think it is wrong that I am enjoying? Instead of giving pleasure to Krishna? No. That result of that enjoyment is the result which you are getting because it is 100% sure, that is confirmation that Krishna is enjoying. Because you are enjoying through Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. When you are doing this kind of processes of devotional service, you yield pleasure. That is the proof that Krishna's senses are pleased. When he sees you dancing in front of his rath, his eyes are pleased. He is becoming pleased. What is the result? When the whole becomes pleased, the part and parts will also get joy. When the whole gets joy, the holistic Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are part and parcel. So we are also deriving that pleasure. That is the proof that Krishna is pleased. If you don't get joy, you get frustrated, then there is some problem that you have not given pleasure with the senses of the Lord. Sometimes we may get pleasure, sometimes we may get ananda, sometimes we may not get when Guru wants to take us into a more matured state. So when you are executing some senior order under the it will be more of like a meditation, devotional meditation, like Srila Prabhupada went in Jalatuta. He immediately didn't derive pleasure, but it will derive fruit in the long term, where he was having heart attack. He didn't have a ticket. He was begging with that lady. Of course, they are all giving pleasure only, but still the result is not manifest immediately in front of one. So Guru will empower when somebody, so immediate pleasure we may not see, but once that is maturing, then executing spiritual master's order end result, you will see a beautiful international society for Krishna consciousness, where it's like a mission which is generating devotional service, where people are enjoying day in and day out in all the processes. So the pure devotional service automatically puts in transcendental pleasure. That's called Sandrananda Visheshatma. And fourth is the pure devotional service is rarely achieved. So Sudurlabha, Durlabham. Durlabham Manusha Janmam, we are saying Durlabha means very rare. Sudurlabha, it's very auspicious, but it's very rare, very, very rare. Very rare, valuable item. That's why it's called not Durlabha, it is called Sudurlabha. Very, very valuable cheese, very, very valuable thing. But it's very rare. Big jnanis, yogis, they are doing tapasya, they are reading the books, all Vedas they know, all they know by heart, everything. But still, they are not able to achieve devotional service. Just because Lord Chaitanya came and Srila Prabhupada came, we are able to easily get this devotional service. But actually, devotional service before Krishna came, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, it is not easily achieved. We can see in Bhagavatam further, Maitreya Rishi, Parikshit, everybody hankering for this. And they are getting the information only when Sukadeva came. Till then, they were not hearing Sravanam Kirtanam. Of course, they were hearing about the grandfather Arjuna. Parikshit was hearing about grandfather Arjuna and his relationship with Krishna and all, but not authentically, authoritatively, with various questions and answers and nicely discussing. Go to any materialistic person, try to discuss. They won't be interested. So we can understand, very, very rarely achieved, but it is because of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, it is unlimitedly available, so we may not feel the value. But pure devotional service, very rare, very, very, very rare. Even Brahma, Narada, hankering for one drop of Mahaprasadam, one grain of Mahaprasadam, they are hankering. But we are getting unlimited Mahaprasadam in home. We can offer to the deities and we can offer to the photographs of Radha Madhava Ashtasaki or Panchatattva. We can take Mahaprasadam unlimitedly. We can take pizza, pasta, what not. Everything you can offer. Who will get? Very rare actually. Narada Muni was hankering and he got a little bit pressure. Any devotional service is very, very rare. But we are getting unlimitedly by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He has given this ways to Krishna Prema unlimitedly on us. This is shower of mercy. And fifth, those in pure devotional service. This deride even the conception of liberation. We already saw, Kapila Dev told, what to speak of material desire, my devotees are not interested in even in liberation. That is called moksha lagata kriti. So, Sudurlabha, fourth, then fifth is moksha lagata kriti. Not interested in moksha also. Param deva mokshanna mokshavatimva nachanyam raneham vareshadapita idam teva purnatha gopala balam sadame manasi avirastam kimanyai. So I don't want any other. We are singing in Damodar Ashtakam every time. Every time, Varamdeva Moksha, my dear Lord, you are Varadaraja. You can give any type of vara. You can give any type of boon. Unlimited, you can give. Varadan, you can give. But Varamdeva Moksham na Mokshavatim. Even liberation, I don't want. Nachanyam Raneham Vareshadapta. I don't want any other desire. No, I don't want anything. What do I want? Idam Teva Purnatha Gopala Balam. This beautiful Gopala Bala who is rubbing his eyes in front of Mother Yashoda Damodara. His eyelashes and all have come, mascara has come to his cheeks around and he's rubbing and crying and fearfully showing. The whole universe is fearing Krishna, but Krishna fears Yashoda's stick. Why? Because Bhakti Jeev Tattvam. The Bhakti one. Which kind of Bhakti one? Not the so-called sentimental Sagajiya kind of Bhakti. The Bhakti is described by Rupa Goswami under the order of Lord Chaitanya. Who is Krishna came in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Other than Srimati Radharani, nobody can exactly define Bhakti in an authoritative term. Whatever going around, I see in sometime North India, they have, when I go to Vrindavan, I see so many Gopal dresses. And in Delhi, every house they have Gopal. Even in Bombay and all, I've seen many, but no Acharya Parampara only. Mera Lala, Mera Natkat Nandalal, Chora, something they say, but 100% unauthorized. Because they won't accept spiritual master, they won't chant the holy name. Why can't they say Krishna? Why they say simply Lala, Lala? So the word Krishna also can't come out of their mouth. Authoritatively, they don't want to worship. And they take from some Babaji who's not giving them any niyama, who's not giving them any chanting, no holy name chanting, they will just take initiation. Sometimes they may have some secret chanting, which is not even having Krishna's name. Vrindavan is so very dangerous in these kind of yogis and Babajis, not the original Vrindavan, the so-called layer which is on top right now, which is created by Lord Shiva in order to protect the Dham. Shiva creates outer layer. Parvati and Shiva guard the Dhamas. So they are called, Shiva is called Kshetra Palaka. So he is protecting the original Vrindavan from the eyes of the ordinary people. Whatever we go and see is only a layer on top of Vrindavana. Whatever you see, the monkeys, everything, whatever you see, they are all layers on top of Vrindavan, which is very nicely safeguarded by Kshetra Palaka Shiva. Once he becomes pleased by a particular devotee who is executing pure devotional service under the order of spiritual master, and then he comes to Vrindavan and executes Krishna consciousness on the order of spiritual master. All the 6 Goswamis went to Vrindavan and settled only on the order of Lord Chaitanya, who is their direct guru. Otherwise, they were in Puri or in their own place or in Mayapur. They never settled in Vrindavan. Sort of whatever hi-fi buildings you are seeing there, all these are layers. The people who die there, they won't even have, may not even have a glimpse of what original Vrindavan is. Vrindavan is not such a cheap place to go. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. And when such pure devotional service is achieved, then a glimpse of original Vrindavan can be seen. So those who are in pure devotional service derive moksha. So we are singing Damodar Ashtagam. So we should understand, when we are singing the song, we should understand the meaning according to Shastra. So we are singing Varam Deva Moksham, my dear Lord. We are showing the lamp and showing, I don't want Idam Teva Purnata Gopala Balam. This Gopala Bala's form, let it manifest in front of my eyes. Sadame Manasi Avirastam Kimanye. Let it reside eternally in my heart. Not like static form, that there is a person rubbing, the small boy Krishna rubbing, no static picture. This name, form, qualities, pastime, entourage, everything put together Krishna. So it's not a still picture, it is a movie. Even when it is coming to WhatsApp, we like to watch a moving picture instead of a static picture. Right? We like videos more than static images. So why in spirituality you don't think there is movement? Why it is static like that? So it's all connection. And when we hear the pastimes, everything we can see from authorized spiritual master, when we karana, from the ear when we hear Sravanam, then we will be able to Sravanadi Sutta Chitte Parabe Hridai. You can see within the heart, it will be manifest. That is why we are requesting you to continuously hear when there is a pure devotee, he has executed Krishna consciousness under the order of spiritual master without deviating anything from the spiritual master. Such getting very rare, such pure devotees are very rare. And when he's taking a class, we are requesting you, don't miss it, don't miss Guru Maharaj classes like this. So whether you understand, don't understand, just be there and you will understand. You will see why you understand with your intelligence. You will see only. That is the power. So that is Moksha Lagata Kriti. 5th. 6th is pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. Krishna Akarshini. Radharani is called, Krishna is called Madana Mohan. And Radharani is called Madana Mohana Mohini. Everybody is attracted to Krishna. So Krishna is called Krishna. Word Krishna. But something attracts Krishna, that is pure devotional service. Not devotional service. Pure devotional service. So the word is pure is again and again mentioned because there are varieties of devotees. Many devotees with various desires and various motivations. There is a motivation underground, you see, then you will gradually understand. Oh, by the time you would have lost your time. So being attached to a pure devotee is very, very important, which will give us the quality of a pure devotee as well, which will gradually remove away our desire for liberation, desire for personal motive, and then we can act in such a way that we will attract even Krishna by the order of spiritual master. Like Prabhupada, he attracted Krishna because he acted on the order of spiritual master. 70-year-old person going in the ship and taking heart attack for nothing. Oh, he want to preach to all the youth. Oh, he want to export him. Nothing. Guru said, so he did. Attachment for his guru is the success secret. The success secret of Prabhupada. Nothing else. Nothing else. In many places, Prabhupada says this. My spiritual master ordered me, that is why I came. My spiritual master told me to do this, My spiritual master wanted me to preach in English. My spiritual master wanted me to be like this. So I did this. So in this way, we see his testimony in many places. Okay. Now we will see very sweet paragraphs about the 6 processes. You keep reading. There won't be any more explanation this today. Till 8:15, you can read half an hour. Okay. So read this. First topic, I think. Relief from material distress. So first we are seeing Kleshagni Subhada, Sandrananda Visheshatma, Moksha Lagata Kriti, Sudurlabha, Moksha Lagata Kriti, and Krishna Akrishni. These are the 6 qualities or characteristics of pure devotional service. Okay. Relief from material distress, we'll read. Because material distress is coming from Papa, Bija. That also is described as, what do you say? The sin also is, activities are like seeds, and the result of the activity, karma, phala, is like fruits. So fruit may be bitter fruit or sweet fruit. So bitter fruits are considered that dukkha, problems in life is due to, all the problems in life is due to our sin. So the pure devotional service will eradicate all types of sin, including the sin which you are planning to do in future. Every sin, every fruit has a seed. So if a person does sinful activity, then the seed, that fruit will have a seed. That further he will like to do sinful activity. A person did very much sin, so he is born in a thief family, a robber family. Then in the robber family, he won't get an environment to become pious activity. Further robbery, father will train him to more robbery, then killing people, then taking more this thing, killing and setting fire to a village. These kind of so many things, more and more. So, and if somebody is doing pious activity, there's a seed of piety within that. So the phala means fruit. The fruit will always have a seed. So one does one sinful activity, then there is always opportunity to fall down and down and down. If somebody does a pious activity, there is always possibility to go up and up and up in a heavenly planetary system and do more and more pious activity. Somebody does pious activity, then he becomes rich family member, then he will do some dana dharma, then again he will go to some temples, he'll construct. In this way, there is possibility, not Krishna temple, some demigod. In this way, there is possibility. So every bija will become a phala, and every phala will have a bija. So that is why Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called the deliverer of the most fallen. So the question may be there, what is the relief for those sinful people where they committed sin, maybe knowingly or unknowingly, they've committed sin, but that sin is further dragging them into sin only. There is very rare opportunity for them to get elevated further. So what will happen to those kind of people in the material world? So Lord Chaitanya is the only solution. He is the only person who deliverer of the fallen. So more and more they have fallen. So very beautifully here, Rupa Goswami is explaining about what is the reason for our suffering. Kleshagni, reason for klesha is the karma what we have done in the past lives, and what are all the various types of karma stages, and how the pure devotional service will eradicate even that seed which is in the phala. It will not only eradicate the present sinful reactions which is giving us trouble, it will also eradicate those who are in the seed stage, those that is aprarabdha, aprarabdha karma. There are 2 karmas, prarabdha karma, aprarabdha karma. The one which has fructified, one which has started sprouting, growing, and in the fruitive stage, and one it has not even appeared. So this is a repetitive process. The sinful activity is a repetitive process. The entire cycle is broken by the pure devotional service. So very sweet explanation both for relief from material distress and auspiciousness. Let us, sorry, I'll keep on explaining. You read it, read from there. I want.
Relief from material distress. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that one should surrender unto him, giving up all other engagements. The Lord also gives his word there that he will protect surrendered souls from the reactions of all sinful activities. Srila Rupa Goswami says that the distresses from sinful activities are due both to the sins themselves and to the sins committed in our past lives. Generally, one commits sinful activities due to ignorance, but ignorance is no excuse for evading the reaction. Sinful activities. Sinful activities are of two kinds, those that are mature and those that are not mature. The sinful activities for which we are suffering at the present moment are called mature. The many sinful activities stored within us for which we have not yet suffered are considered immature. For example, a man may have committed criminal acts but not yet been arrested for them. Now, as soon as he is detected, arrest is awaiting him. Similarly, for some of our sinful activities, we are awaiting distresses in the future, and for others which are mature, we are suffering at the present moment. In this way, there is a chain of sinful activities and their concomitant distresses, and the conditioned soul is suffering life after life due to these sins. He is suffering in the present life the results of sinful activities from his past life, and he is meanwhile creating further sufferings for his future life. Mature sinful activities are exhibited in one if one is suffering from some chronic disease, if one is suffering from some legal implication, if one is born in a low and degraded family, or if one is uneducated or very ugly. There are many results of past sinful activities for which we are suffering at the present moment, and we may be suffering in the future due to our present sinful activities. But all of these reactions to sinful deeds can immediately be stopped if we take up to Krishna consciousness. As evidence from this, Rupa Goswami quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 14th chapter verse 19. This verse is in connection with Lord Krishna's instructions to Uddhava, where he says, "My dear Uddhava, devotional service unto me is just like a blazing fire which can burn into ashes unlimited fuel supplied to it. The purport is that as the blazing fire can burn any amount of fuel to ashes, so devotional service to the Lord in Krishna consciousness can burn up all the fuel of sinful activities. For example, in the Gita, Arjuna thought that fighting was a sinful activity, but Krishna engaged on the battlefield under his order, and so the fighting became devotional service. Therefore, Arjuna was not subjected to any sinful reaction. Srila Rupa Goswami quotes another verse from third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 33rd chapter, verse 6, in which Devahuti addresses her son, Kapil Deva, and says, "My dear Lord, there are 9 different kinds of devotional service, beginning with hearing and chanting. Anyone who hears about your pastimes, who chants about your glories, who offers you obeisances, who thinks of you, and in this way executes any of the 9 kinds of devotional service, even if he is born in the family of dog eaters, the lowest grade of mankind, becomes immediately qualified to perform sacrifices. As such, how is it possible that anyone actually engaged in devotional service is full Krishna consciousness has not become purified? It is not possible. One who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service has without doubt become freed from all contaminations of material sinful activities. Devotional service, therefore, has the power to actually nullify all kinds of reactions to sinful deeds. A devotee is nevertheless always alert not to commit any sinful activities. This is his specific qualification as a devotee. Thus, Srimad Bhagavatam states that by performing devotional service, a person who is born even in a family of dog eaters may become eligible to take part in the performance of ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the Vedas. It is implicit in this statement that a person born into a family of dog eaters is generally not fit for performing yajna or sacrifice. The priestly caste is in charge of performing these ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the Vedas is called the Brahmana order. Unless one is a Brahmana, he cannot perform these ceremonies. A person is born in a Brahmana family or in a family of a dog eaters due to his past activities. If a person is born in a family of dog eaters, it means that his past activities were all sinful. But if even such a person takes to the path of devotional service and begins to chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he is at once fit to perform the ritualistic ceremonies. This means that his sinful reactions have immediately become neutralized. It is stated in the Padma Purana that there are four kinds of effects due to sinful activities, which are listed as follows. First, the effect that is not yet fructified, the effect that is lying as seed, the effect that is already mature, and the effect that is almost mature. It is also stated that all these four effects become immediately vanquished for those who surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu and become engaged in his devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. Those effects described as almost mature refer to the distress from which one is suffering at present, and the effects lying as seed are in the core of the heart, where there is certain stock of sinful desires which are like seeds. The Sanskrit word kutam means they are almost ready to produce the seed or the effect of the seed. An immature effect refers to the case where the seedling has not begun. From this statement of Padma Purana, it is understood that metal contamination is very subtle. Its beginning is not yet fructified, and its end is not yet mature. It is also stated that all these four effects become immediately vanquished for those who surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu and become engaged in his devotional service in full Krishna consciousness.
I'm not able to hear.
I think his internet got disconnected.
I will. Hare Krishna, I think the power has cut. I will connect again.
Yeah, we are able to hear now.
From the statement of Padma Purana.
Somebody would like to read, Ishara?
From this statement of Padma Puran, it is understood that material contamination is very subtle. Its beginning, its fruition and results, and how one suffers such results in the form of distress are part of a great chain. When one catches some disease, it is often very difficult to ascertain the cause of the disease, where it originated, and how it is maturing. The suffering of a disease, however, does not appear all of a sudden. It actually takes time. And as in the medical field, for the precaution's sake, the doctor injects a vaccination to prevent the growing of contamination, the practical injection to stop all the fructification of the seeds of our sinful activities is simply engagement in Krishna consciousness.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Okay, go ahead, next paragraph.
In this connection, Sukadev Goswami speaks in the sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, verse 17, about the story of Ajamila, who began life as a fine and beautiful Brahmana, but who in his young manhood became wholly corrupted by a prostitute. At the end of his wicked life, just by calling the name Narayana Krishna, he was saved despite so much sin. Sukadev points out that austerity, charity, and the performance of ritualistic ceremonies for counteracting sinful activities are recommended processes, but that by performing them, one cannot remove the sinful desires seed from the heart, as was the case with Ajamin in his youth. This sinful desired seed can be removed only by achieving Krishna consciousness, and this can be accomplished very easily by chanting the Maha Mantra or Hare Krishna mantra as recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In other words, unless one adopts the path of devotional service, he cannot be 100% clean from all the reactions of sinful activities. By performing Vedic ritualistic activities, by giving money in charity, and by undergoing austerity, one can temporarily become free from the reactions of sinful activities. But at the next moment, he must again become engaged in sinful activities. For example, A person suffering from venereal disease on account of excessive indulgence in sex life has to undergo some severe pain in medical treatment, and he is then cured for the time being. But because he has not been able to remove the sex desire from his heart, he must again indulge in the same thing and become a victim of the same disease. So, medical treatment may give temporary relief from the distress of such venereal disease, but unless one is trained to understand the sex life is abominable, uh, it is impossible to be saved from such repeated distress. Similarly, the ritualistic performances, charity, and austerity that are recommended in the Vedas may temporarily stop one from acting in sinful ways, but as long as the heart is not clear, one will have to repeat sinful activities again and again. Another example given in Srimad Bhagavatam concerns the elephant who enters into a lake and takes a bath very seriously, cleansing his body thoroughly. Then, as soon as he becomes onto shore, he again takes some dust from the earth and throws it over his body. Similarly, a person who is not trained in Krishna consciousness cannot become completely free from the desire for sinful activities. Neither the yoga process, nor philosophical speculations, nor fruitive activities can save one from the seeds of sinful desires. Only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done. There is another evidence in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 22nd chapter, verse 39, wherein Sanat Kumar says, "My dear king, the false ego of a human being is so strong that it keeps him in material existence as if tied up by a strong rope. Only the devotees can cut off the knot of this strong rope very easily by engaging themselves in Krishna consciousness. Others who are not in Krishna consciousness but who are trying to become great mystics or great ritual performers cannot advance like the devotees. Therefore, it is the duty of everyone to engage himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness in order to be freed from the tight knot of false ego and engagement in material activities. The tight knot of false ego is due to ignorance. As long as one is ignorant about his identity, he is sure to act wrongly and thereby become entangled in material contamination. This ignorance of factual knowledge can also be dissipated by Krishna consciousness, as is confirmed in the Padma Puran as follows. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the highest enlightenment, and when such enlightenment is there, it is just like a blazing forest fire, killing all the inauspicious snakes of desire. The example being given in this connection that when there is a forest fire, forest, the extensive blazing automatically kills all the snakes in the forest. There are many, many snakes on the ground of the forest, and when a fire takes place, it burns the dried foliage and the snake are immediately attacked. Animals who have four legs can flee from the fire or can at least try to flee, but the snakes are immediately killed. Similarly, the blazing fire of Krishna consciousness is so strong that the snakes of ignorance are immediately killed. Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. Srila Rup Goswami has given a definition of auspiciousness. He says that actual auspiciousness means welfare activities for all the people of the world. At the present moment, groups of people are engaged in welfare activities in terms of society, community, or nation. There is even an attempt in the form of the United Nations for World Health Activity. But Due to the shortcomings of limited national activities, such a general mass welfare program for the whole world is not practically possible. The Krishna consciousness movement, however, is so nice that it can render the highest benefit to the entire human race. Everyone can be attracted by this movement and everyone can feel the result. Therefore, Rupa Goswami and other learned scholars agree that broad propaganda program for the Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service all over the world is the highest humanitarian welfare activity. How the Krishna consciousness movement can attract the attention of the whole world and how each and every man can feel pleasure in this Krishna consciousness is stated in the Padma Puran as follows. A person who is engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is to be understood to be doing the best service to the whole world and to be pleasing everyone in the world. In addition to human society, he is pleasing even the trees and animals because they also become attracted by such a movement. A practical example of this was shown by Lord Chaitanya when he was traveling through the forests of Jharikhanda in central India for spreading his Sankirtana movement. The tigers, the elephants, the deer, and all the other wild animals joined him and were participating in their own ways by dancing and chanting Hare Krishna. Furthermore, a person engaged in Krishna consciousness, acting in devotional service, and with all the good qualities that are generally found in the demigods. It is said by Sukadev Goswami in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter, verse 12, My dear king, persons who have unflinching faith in Krishna and are without any duplicity can develop all the good qualities of the demigods. On account of a devotee's high grade of Krishna consciousness, even the demigods like to live with him, and therefore it can be understood that the qualities of the demigods have developed within his body. On the other hand, a person who is not on the other hand, a person who is not in Krishna consciousness has no good qualities. He may be highly educated from the academic point of view, but in the actual field of his activities, he can be seen to be baser than the animals. Even though a person is highly educated academically, if he cannot go beyond the sphere of mental activities, then he is sure to perform only material activities and thus remain impure. There are so many persons in the modern world who have been highly educated in the materialistic universities, but it is seen that they cannot take us They cannot take up the movement of Krishna consciousness and develop the high qualities of the demigods. For example, a Krishna conscious boy, even if he is not very well educated by the university standard, can immediately give up all illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Whereas those who are not in Krishna consciousness, all the very highly educated, are often drunkards, meat eaters, sex mongers, and gamblers. These are practical proofs of how a Krishna conscious person becomes highly developed in good qualities, whereas a person who is not in Krishna consciousness cannot do so. We experience that even a young boy in Krishna consciousness is unattached to cinemas, nightclubs, naked dance shows, restaurants, liquor shops, etc. He becomes completely freed. He saves his valuable time from being extravagantly spent in the way of smoking, drinking, attending the theater, and dancing. One who is not in Krishna consciousness usually cannot sit silent even for half an hour. The yoga system teaches that if you become silent, you will realize that you are God. The system may be all right for materialistic persons, but how long will they be able to keep themselves silent? Artificially, they may sit down for so called meditation, but immediately after their yoga performance, they will engage themselves again in such activities as illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and many other nonsensical things. But a Krishna conscious person gradually elevates himself without endeavoring for this so called silent meditation. Simply because he is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he automatically gives up all this nonsense and develops a high character. One develops the highest character by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is that no one can truly have any good qualities if he is lacking Krishna consciousness. Someone else can continue.
Happiness in Krishna consciousness. Srila Rup Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into three categories, which are happiness derived from material enjoyment, happiness derived from identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman, and happiness derived from Krishna consciousness. In the Tantra Shastra, Lord Shiva says to his wife Sati in this way: My dear wife, a person has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of a person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govinda and who has thus developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections of desire, all the perfections desired by the impersonalists. And beyond this, he can enjoy the happiness achieved by the pure devotees. Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. There is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness, and there is even every chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived by identifying oneself with the impersonal Brahman. It has been seen that great Mayavadi impersonalist sannyasis, very highly educated and almost realized souls, may sometimes take to political activities or to social welfare activities. The reason is that they actually do not derive any ultimate transcendental happiness in the impersonal understanding and therefore must come down to the metal platform and take some such mundane affairs. There are many instances, especially in India, where these Mayavadi sannyasis descend to the metal platform again. But a person who is fully in Krishna consciousness will never return to any sort of metal platform. However, alluring and attracting they may be, he always knows that no material welfare activities can compare to the spiritual activity of Krishna consciousness. The mystic perfection.
Hariom Tatsat.
இல்லவா? இல்ல, ஓ, இருக்கு.
நிறைய இருக்குது. Happiness in Krishna consciousness will start.
ஒரு நிமிஷம், let me see. The mystic perfection இருந்து பார்க்கணும். We'll read it tomorrow. Oh, okay. So tomorrow we will see this.
Okay. So we'll continue tomorrow. Any questions or comments or realization you can please share with us. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much. There is a chat message. Let me take a look at it. Hare Krishna Prabhu Janmata. Thank you for the class. I have to leave now. Okay. So thank you very much. Let's wind up and join back tomorrow morning, sharp 5 o'clock, with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, followed by continuing on the nectar of devotion. Jai Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Patitapam Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patitapam Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavat Satsang ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nitai Gaur Premanande.